Okay, the recording's starting. Fantastic. So, Ben Opit here. Today, we're having a session geared towards our managed service providers, where we talk about the value of Dynamics and what that can mean for your business. So, no matter what size MSP you are, if you're on your learning journey on becoming an MSP, or you've been doing it for decades, the webinar will be very valuable for you because we cover pretty much the entire gamut of around Dynamics and the opportunity landscape ahead of us. So as a heads up, this recording will be recorded. This session will be recorded, and you can play it back at your own leisure. So I think we should get into it. The session's about 40 minutes long. So yeah, let's get going. So introduce myself. My name is Ben Opit. I'm a Microsoft Dynamics Business Manager for Pax8. I recently joined Pax8 to help our partners on their digital transformation journey around Dynamics. I apologize for my camera. It seems to be going in and out of dark and light. I'm not sure why that is, so I'll have to make do. So I've been in ERP land, in enterprise resource planning land for about 21 years. I started in AX when Microsoft first acquired Dynamics back in 2002. And I moved to Business Central about 5 years ago, focusing on the SMB side of Dynamics. And I'll cover a bit more of those details as well. But I'm a very strong believer in the fixed scope, fixed implementation approach on delivering Dynamics. And I'll explain what that also means as we progress through this presentation. So again, no matter what size of your MSP business you're in, Dynamics will help you. It will improve your connections to your customers, and it will improve your revenues. I have a QR code on the screen for those of you that still do QR codes. That's just a link to me, so you can reach out. Some people don't want to chat openly and in public forum like this. You can reach out in private or on email as well. All right. So to begin with, Pax8 pillars. I think this is important to begin the conversation because we want you to understand where we come from as a business. So we focus on these three pillars, which is to grow my business. And when I say mine, I don't mean mine, I mean yours. So grow my business, gain efficiencies, and reduce risk. So we keep it simple by having an accelerated activation with our internal teams and partners. So we what that basically means is we try to keep the process as simple as possible when it comes to complex conversations by demystifying some of these languages that Microsoft present, and we help with the education component to help guide you on your journey. We activate our our partners, helping them training in the basics of Dynamics, and we talk about that in detail as well, including Dynamics 365 Sales, Business Central, and the Power Platform. Those are the SMB focused solutions for Dynamics, so that's what we're going to be focusing on here. We do a lot of awareness campaigns and marketing messages and obviously support to help with your business and with your Dynamics business, and to help you uncover your customers and where they are in their digital transformation journeys. Massive amount of education at Pax8. I've been here a short while and I've already produced 4 or 5 webinars now on Dynamics. So we're all about education, helping you understand how Dynamics can benefit yourselves as well as your customers. And obviously really important, I mentioned before, is how to navigate the world of Microsoft Dynamics. It is complex. It doesn't need to be scary. I'm here to help you be less scared, if I could put it to you that way. Obviously, really important as well is understanding how Microsoft wants you to position your business, and we help you with that journey as well, because it is important to be aligned with Microsoft. They are a very big business, and they have lots of customers that are ready for you to help them with their digital transformations. So that's how we do the grow the business side. We are also big on gaining efficiencies, so we reduce the risk of complex systems into basic components. We do a lot of the data analysis with your data. Microsoft have a huge product available to you as a Microsoft partner called the Cloud Ascent data. I will talk about that further as well, how we help identify your potential customers. We are a big proponent on MSPs transacting more than just one cloud. Many MSPs only transact just the one cloud. And when we talk about all clouds, we're talking about M365, D365, Azure, Modern Work, basically the entire breadth of the solution architecture that Microsoft offers. It is a compelling conversation, and we will dive into that as well. very important as well is how you begin to have conversations with your customers around Dynamics. We've got some templates that can help you guide you on that process. And obviously the pre-sale support is very important. So we help on these pillars. The last one is obviously on the reduced risk side, which is the education component, which I mentioned. We help you expand your knowledge on Microsoft Business Apps, specifically around the SMB focus is what we're discussing here. So we do have other motions as well to help reduce some of your risk by using further upsell and cross-sell processes and campaigns along the customer life cycle, and we'll pick up on that as well as we progress. So I think we'll continue. So there are 3 pillars. So just an interesting point, I just noticed my notes. I actually didn't talk about something which I thought was really important, and this just talks about why we're actually here. So this is a valuable piece of insight that Microsoft has shared with us, and I should share it with you as well. So less than 10% of the SMB partners globally transact all 3 clouds. Less than 10%, right? But those people are responsible for around 60% of the entire SMB revenue. That's a huge amount of number. I'm going to show you some of these numbers shortly, and you're going to go, that's not possible. It is possible. They all start with B's, not M's. It's a massive opportunity, and I'm trying to share with you the power of Biz Apps and how these systems can help you and your business and your customers as well. So why did I create this webinar? Why are we discussing this process and this potential revenue stream with our MSPs, with our managed service providers? Now, as I indicated up front, doesn't matter which part of your cycle you are in your journey, most MSPs would have built out their solutions built around this deck. And I'm just going to talk to this deck. Now, I'm a bit hesitant to use the laser focus because it didn't work, but hopefully this does now. Thank you for that. So we are focused, well, MSPs have predominantly been focusing around the build, the procure, and the managed component of a customer lifecycle. But there's this entire other area that's available and are ready to enact, and we're here to help you enact them. So there are many ways to monetize. The advice, the design, and adopt is where we can help you. So now, the reason why I'm sharing this is because MSPs have been very successful at doing this. They've got a very valuable practice. They're building out the MSP tools, and I'll talk about the tools shortly as well, but have forgotten or haven't focused on how they can identify additional revenue streams. So hopefully this webinar will give you some insights into that potential and how Pax8 can help you identify these as well. Make sense? Good. We'll move on. So this is a table that presents a few things. The first 5 discuss the more popular PSA tools in the market, and the PSA tools are, leading. They're fantastic at what they do, and they're very much focused on you as an MSP and how you could be successful offering solutions to your customer. They're fantastic. They work. I'm just highlighting here some of them. There are a lot more. There's things like Cloud Blue and Kimball and Upland and Delta. There's plenty, but these are the most popular ones. Reason why I'm sharing this is because I know that there are younger MSPs on the call who might be interested in identifying what other MSP tools are available. These are some of the more popular ones. And I also highlighted down the bottom here 4 potential or 4 other solutions that are also being utilized by MSPs. Not all MSPs use these blue tools. They are Freshdesk, Zendesk, Salesforce, and Zoho as an example. These are predominantly CRM-based tools, but some MSPs do utilize them in their own systems as well as a PSA tool, and some don't. So there's a complex mix and match of solutions in the market that help professional services teams and managed service providers build out their capability, but they often lack a finance system, and that's this bottom tier at the bottom. Now, why am I highlighting these bottom ones? Xero, MYOB, and QuickBooks are the more popular solutions in the ANZ market, and many MSPs connect a system like a PSA tool to these finance systems. But these are very basic finance systems. And why am I sharing this with you? Some businesses may be ready to adapt Dynamics for their own use. you may find that your Zero tools or your MYOBs or your QuickBooks solutions aren't really keeping up with what you need in your business. You're not able to understand what your project profitability is. You may not understand what your utilization looks like. And there are also costs associated to each of these solutions. These are different solutions that all require a monthly fee, plus considering what the effort into actually doing integration looks like as well. So Pax8 can help you on this journey. So we have a team ready and willing to help you. And we do have integrations to some of these PSA tools out of the box. And as we see more and more demand, we'll build more and more solutions to get them connected. So I just wanted to highlight this slide. These are the tools. I think we can move on. So simplification. Dynamics is, I've been told, complex. I've never seen it being complex. I've heard it's complex, and I heard a lot of MSPs don't like to talk about it. Times are changing. Customers are demanding your attention. They want better systems. You as an MSP need to pay attention to your customer and not say, no, I'm sorry, I don't do Dynamics. That's someone else. That is no longer the case. We are here to help you on this journey. So on my screen, and I hope the animation has come through. If not, I'll explain it. There are about 20 solutions in the Dynamics space. We're not worried about 20. We're worried about 3 specific ones and the Power Platform. So if I click onto the next slide, that animation may play. Apologies if it doesn't. But we're focusing here 3 SMB solutions. This is the only thing we need to focus on. The customer experience, sales, Business Central, and the Power Platform. I'm going to talk about each of these as well. I do have a webinar that I created about 3 weeks ago. I've got a little picture down in the bottom left-hand corner. So when you get this deck, if you want it and if you're interested, you can play through I've got a half an hour conversation where I demystify Dynamics and break these things down into their elements. I have a follow-up video as well that talks in length around a conversation around Dynamics. And these things kind of help you build these pieces together so you've got more power to discuss these solutions with your customers as well. Now, consider that these are not only customer-led conversations, you can actually have them internally as well. So we're going to focus on BC, sales, and the customer service. We're going to keep it simple, and we're going to address the opportunities that you've got in your current customer base. And if you don't have any, let us know. We're going to help you build that as well. So now, the reason why we're focusing on these 3, as well as the Power Platform, is this represents 80% of the SMB channel. The other solutions that are in place need to be in place because Microsoft are a global solution, but aren't our focus. We are only interested in these solutions because that is where the 80% of the business is. Now, I'll continue down the slide here because I do have quite a few notes to go through. But as I mentioned before, less than 10% of SMB partners globally transact all 3 clouds, but they are responsible for 60% of the revenue. So we have a huge opportunity to educate you on how to go to your customer base and identify these opportunities. Make sense? Good. So let's break it down a little bit further. Now, this is just very light on because, as I mentioned, I do have a deep dive into Dynamics demystification, but I'm going to break this down into sales, Business Central, and customer service. I'm just hearing from someone that they can't see the slides. Is everyone else okay to see the slides? Okay. Sorry, you might have to pick this up afterwards as a recording because they are definitely coming through. So let's talk about D365 sales. Everyone in the industry calls this CRM in Dynamics. It's still called CRM, even though Microsoft have changed the wording to Dynamics 365 sales, Dynamics 365 sales, we still call it CRM. The idea is here we can connect across many different channels. So however you want to transact with your customers' lifecycle on onboarding, through to engagement, through to delivery, this is where D365 sales can help, the CRM tool. It can connect to Business Central as well, so that you actually have a connected system, not just a standalone isolated CRM solution, which is what the case is on most of the times. CRM is CRM, finance is finance, warehouse is warehouse, and they're not connected. That's not the case on the Dynamics platform. They're all connected, and they can all be connected. They can obviously we can gain efficiencies using our project, the Dynamics 365 sales, and gain customer insights. I'll talk a bit more about ChatGPT as well and how that's valuable. We can predict and manage our pipelines. And if, again, we connect this to a solution like Dynamics 365 Sales, we can actually properly report our next quarterly earnings as well. So it's all about getting customer insights, getting information through the systems so that business can make better decisions. Obviously, improve customer call-throughs and feedback. And I just mentioned the last point here is Viva Sales is one of the solutions that Microsoft have to really bring this glue together. I will be doing a future webinar on Viva Sales and LinkedIn Sales Insights, but just be aware that just because you've got a Dynamics 365 CRM sales solution in place, there are ways of getting insights into your customers' data and to help you gain efficiencies. The next tier is the Dynamics Business Central. The idea here is Business Central can be your replacements for your old on-premise outdated finance systems, like I mentioned previously. We can bring historical information across as well, because a lot of concerns are like, what happens to our old data? We don't want to lose all our historical data. That can come across. It's obviously warehouse management. It's a finance system at its heart, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously. It is a finance system at its heart. We can also do automated invoicing, including OCRing of documents that can really help with improving your utilization and your team's ability to be more productive. And it can be connected to the PACS API. Plenty of Power BI dashboards out of the box to really give you insights into your financial systems. Next, we'll talk about customer engagement. That's where we actually have a case management, a bit like a ticketing system, but connected to the Dynamics world and the Dataverse. We'll talk about the Dataverse shortly as well. This is where we can track issues and record interactions. We can add a knowledge-based article where we can actually start sharing with our customers previously known solutions to problems or fixes or insights that we can share on the fly. The system can help leverage those pieces of metrics as well, so you can share them out quickly. And obviously, really important is to maintain the agent productivity. So I think that's just a very quick overview of these three. And as I mentioned, that these I do have a deeper session into this, so we'll move on to our next one. And again, I just wanted to highlight here the intelligence connected systems. Let's go to the next slide. And I probably should actually explain a little bit further, because you've probably heard of the Dataverse. And if you've not heard of the Dataverse is a way that all of these systems can communicate to each other. These can be separate systems, and they can separately talk to different systems, or they can communicate to each other on the Dataverse. And the Dataverse is basically the glue that connects everything together. Now, what I mean by the glue, it's a layer that can help data flow from one thing to another. So, for example, a customer in Dynamics 365 Sales, their customer ID can directly translate into Business Central, and these entities line up. So you have less concerns about translations and data mappings and date and time formats. It's all on the same data model, making the integration to each other much simpler. It's part of the Power Platform, and I'm going to share with you in a minute a bit more about the Power Platform, because the Power Platform could be a very good starter for you to have conversations with your customers about how to gain efficiency and begin them on their journey of using Microsoft Dynamics. It can start with the Power Platform. I'll cover that a bit more as well. Obviously, very important is the Copilot and the generative AI. Again, more on that. I actually have a presentation on ChatGPT as well and Copilot. So this is for you to look through. You can click each of these. This is the Microsoft slides on each of these elements. It's a 4 or 5 minute introduction into each of these. It's available for you to click through in your own leisure. So here I'm going to talk about the opportunities within your customer base. Now, there's a lot of numbers going to be thrown on the screen. These are all numbers that Microsoft have shared with us, and I want to share them with you. So let's talk about, as an example, Business Central. So a bit of a metric that Microsoft has shared with us is that 76% of CFOs are dissatisfied with the cross-functional collaboration. So that means that we have a challenge that we're trying to overcome in a business, where we're trying to identify productivity gains by not having these cross-functional collaborations. So 76% of CFOs are not happy with this, and they want to bridge the gap between operational and functional planning. That's the messaging, the marketing message Microsoft's giving it to us. Now, another point is 75% of organizations selling to the direct consumer model will offer subscription services by 2023. That means we're in 2023. Many of your customers want to change their model. They do have a direct to consumer model, but they want to move to the subscription process. And your customers are going to come to you saying, we don't have good systems in place. How do we get to a model where we are getting this recurring revenue through? And this is a number that Microsoft has shared with us at 75%. Now, 72% of CFOs believe their company will need to completely rethink their processes and operational models to be more resilient. So why am I sharing with these numbers with you? There are very big numbers, as you can see. Each of these have fairly large size numbers. I spoke to Microsoft. I said, well, what does that mean for our area? And Microsoft said you can take about 8 to 10% of these numbers. So 8 to 10% of each of these numbers is a very large number still. And as I said, these are customers wanting to have these conversations with you. And if they're not having it with you, who are they having it with? And we're just trying to highlight some of these. So 40% of Dynamics 365 includes both the CRM and ERP components. So that means that when we're having conversations with our opportunities, the conversations aren't just one of these solutions, they're both. They either want a CRM and a Business Central solution, but more importantly, they can and do include the Power Platform. So I'm going to share with you that as a bit more. As I said, it doesn't matter how you begin, it's just a matter of starting the conversation. Now we'll talk about the Power Platform. So in front of you right now is the ability for you to reach out to your customers to identify some of their challenges they've got. The Power Platform can help build out some functionality that they're needing. So many businesses are concerned about the shadow IT solutions. Shadow IT solutions are solutions that a internal user will just spin up on a whim because they've got a challenge. But that is a big risk to the business because there's lack of governance and lack of controls, but it does happen. Now, creating your own side apps to fill a need, it needs to happen, and the Power Platform can help here as well. So there is a high barrier to creating custom application development. It's expensive. You have to have deep coding knowledge, and more importantly, it has to be supported. So using the Power Platform to build out these things using Power BI, the Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents can help your customers build out these systems in a controlled, manageable manner that also opens up the opportunity to have these deeper conversations around dynamics. So, for example, like collecting data using error-prone processes like Excel or manual writing on piece of paper for evidence gathering, it doesn't add any contents. It doesn't add valuable content, and data is inaccurate as well. So utilizing the Power Platform will definitely help you as well. So here's some more metrics. So 40% of Dynamics 365 deals include Power Platform. This is not numbers that we've made up. This is factual numbers from Microsoft. These are important to share with because it shows that no matter where your customer is on your journey, again, it doesn't matter where they start as long as they get going. So 20% of biz apps. Now, when we say biz apps, if you ever hear me say biz apps, I'm talking about Dynamics 365 Sales, Business Central, and Customer Engagement. They're the biz apps components. Here it's saying that 20% of biz apps customers start with Power Apps and add 50% to the Dynamics 365. So again, once they're on the platform, it's all very sticky and it's all very powerful to empower them to consume more and more solutions from Microsoft. So I've just got a couple of metrics on the screen, which I'll share. Again, you can have a review of those. But one of the points that I wanted to share with you is that Gartner predicts by 2025, 70% of new application developers, by 70% of new applications developed by organization will use these low-code, no-code techniques. And there's some tremendous numbers here that they're talking about here. So what the point of this is that Microsoft have so many tools available for customers to be successful for themselves, and having these citizen developers create this content is valuable and it is happening. They may as well do it inside a platform that is secured, scalable, protected, and connected to other systems. That's the power of the Power Platform. So, and another example, I just wanted to add this slide here, which gives you a bit of context to why some people or why some customers might need Business Central as an example. Obviously, I'm focused on the Biz App side of things. I'm going to present these on the screens. I don't really want to go through with them, but just to share a couple of them, it's most of the challenges are around either compliance, because their current on-premise solution is no longer compliant, for example, for payroll, as an example, or they just want to refresh. They've had it for too long. They want a better solution. The current on-premise one isn't working for them anymore. Yeah, and there are some other ones on the screen as well. So again, we'll move on to the next one. So the point here is that I want to empower you to begin to have these conversations. So what's also very important to share is the average contract value. So often MSPs have certain contracts with their customers that are pretty much fixed and they don't really change that much. And you probably could see the green slide here as an example. This green bar shows you what happens if you're just transacting M365 as an example. But as soon as we introduce a Dynamics conversation, that the bigger bar is obviously the conversation we're having with Dynamics considered as well. So it's important because this model of only giving a customer what you're capable of delivering now doesn't scale, and customers do want more. So let me share with you the next slide, and I might be able to talk to this a bit more. So there's a couple of things here happening. I want to just focus on this orange line that you can see. It's the bottom line here. That's the trajectory if you don't do anything. If you just are an MSP and you're transacting and you're just going to continue to sell, the customer is going to acquire more employees. They're going to slightly improve how many licenses they want. That's your trajectory. It's fine. It works. But what happens if you start having a conversation with 5% of your audience? So that's the next bar. And what happens if you have a conversation with 10% of your audience? Sorry, I shouldn't say audience. I should say customer. But you can see here. So you know, I had a conversation with a partner, and he is an MSP, and I said, "Do you do any Dynamics work?" He says, "No, we don't. We don't really know how to manage it, and how to implement it, or what to do with it, so we don't do it." But and I said to them, "Well, how many customers have you got?" And he said, "Oh, I've got about 130." So I said, so if you could have a conversation with 10 of those, your current revenues are due to increase by what you're seeing here. I think it's $460,000 a year. Sorry, I can't quite see the number, but it doesn't matter. My point is here that beginning this conversation with your customers will lead to additional revenue streams. We're here to help you on that journey, and we have the team on hand ready to assist. So this is this all cloud, one cloud approach that we're talking about. Hopefully those visualizations are coming through here, but it doesn't matter where we start. You could be transacting Dynamics first, you could be transacting Azure first, you could be doing M365 or the Power Platform. It doesn't matter how you begin this process. What's important, and I might have to just turn my camera off for a minute because I think I'm in front there. What's important here is to share that no matter where you start, if you start with M365, that conversation hopefully will lead to a Dynamics Business Central as an example conversation. That can then lead into an Azure hybrid identity and security conversation. That can then lead into Power BI. All right, that's just the beginning part of the cycle. But then as customers demand more from the Microsoft platform, we can start having conversations around Sales Pro, which is the Dynamics 365 sales component that we talked about. So once we've got Business Central and Sales Pro in there, we can actually start talking about Azure files and blob storage as an example. That adds to more Azure consumption. Then that will obviously lead into Power Automate or Power Virtual Agents, which then makes them move into the Business Premium model. Brisbane Premium gives them more ability to upsell, so you can then grow your business with your current customers. That then leads into a deeper engagement with Power Apps. That could potentially also lead into Azure virtual desktops, and the story goes on. Hopefully by the end of the journey, the customer is consuming E5, which completely protects them against the entire length and breadth of the entire Microsoft stack. That's the story. That's how we intend to help you grow, and that's the story we're trying to share here with you guys. Okay, fantastic. What do I do? How do I begin? The data is there for you to interrogate. Microsoft has spent, I might just turn my screen back on just so you can see me talk. So Microsoft have spent lots of effort and time producing valuable insights into your customer data. If you go into your Microsoft Partner Center now, you can actually look into your data and start identifying your next sales cycle. But we're here to help you. If you're interested, reach out. We'll get you contacted to one of our CAM members, and we'll dive in together with your data. We'll look at what your propensity is. Now, we've made this tool. It's an Excel-driven tool. It will become a Power App shortly, but for the moment, it's an Excel-driven tool. We will plug your data in, and we will highlight where we think you should be focusing for your current opportunities. And then together, we'll work out what the strategy might be. It's your customer, it's your data. It's just a matter of paying attention to it and beginning this process. So Cloud Ascent data is available. Please reach out if you want to have a conversation around that. I'm actually planning on doing a webinar next on the Cloud Ascent data, just so that you can see how this process works, and then you can work out whether that's valuable for you or not. It's valuable for you. I'm telling you it's valuable for you. So please reach out. So let's go through a summary of the benefits that we covered. So again, really important to highlight some of these numbers just to really drive it home. So less than 8% of the Microsoft partner transacts are on all clouds, and they're responsible for over 60% of their revenue. I've said that 3 times now, almost said 6 times. I've said that 3 times now. That's really loud and clear. So partners transacting all clouds are growing on an average of 20% faster than other partners, and billing around 2,500 more revenue per year than partners transacting just Microsoft 365. Huge numbers here. Your increased annual contract value does go up, but on average of 600%. And we validated this. Microsoft told us we're seeing about 600%. We did some internal research as well, and that's true. For the partners that are transacting all clouds, you're looking at a 600% increase in annual revenues. I don't want to say put your hands up who wants to increase by 600%, because there's no point doing that, but you get the point. Dynamics 365 is driving more Azure consumption at a 3 times greater rate than the Power Platform, as well as the Power Platform and Microsoft Dynamics 365 upsells. Again, all data that Microsoft has presented to us. So I'll present a couple more on the screen. One of the things I really like to talk about here is the churn. MSPs, I don't want to say one MSP is like another MSP, because that's quite rude, but if you're not engaging with your customer at a deeper level around these solutions that Microsoft are offering, other partners may be, other MSPs may be. I actually spoke to a Dynamics partner who wants to work out how to become an MSP. So even forward-thinking Dynamics partners are trying to traverse this world as well. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because Microsoft suggests that 25% churn on MSPs with their customers. But for those that are transacting Dynamics, less than 1% churn. Now, no one wants to lose customers, but the writing's on the wall here, and these are factual numbers from Microsoft. And 40% of business, I can't read my own writing because I'm in front of the screen. I apologize there. 40% of business tech spend is in their CRM and ERP solutions. 40% of their tech spend is in CRM and their ERP systems. Where's that revenue going? As an MSP, you are now empowered to have these conversations. All right, let's go to the next slide. Almost there. So, okay, routes to market. Where do we begin? So we've got 2 options that we think are valuable for you. You can either build your own practice as an MSP, and many MSPs are showing interest in doing so. And that's the first trajectory. And we can help you with that process. It's a good 18-month to 2-year sales cycle, enablement cycle to get you up to talent. Consider the costs associated to employing Dynamics people as well. There is a limited resource, especially in Australia and New Zealand, but it is very doable and it's very empowering. And we are suggesting that some MSPs are ready for that conversation, but some aren't. Some are just beginning this Dynamics journey. So we think the partner-to-partner play is very valuable. And we're here to help on the partner-to-partner play as well. So we can help you with your go-to-market strategy. We can work with you. We can work on your messaging to market. We can help save times by working with our marketing campaigns. There are partner portals that have pitch decks on them, so we can help you on these plays as well. There's email templates and demos and guides as well. And we also have these trainer workshops as well. So there's many ways that we can help you go to market. Start having a conversation with us on how we can help you. So just to help on the partner-to-partner play as well, we do have some very capable partners that are willing to help understand the MSP landscape and are more than willing to help you on this journey. So there are a few that are signed up to become your Dynamics-led implementation team. Understand that they also need to offer support because as an MSP, you probably can't offer that support. And they have been playing in this game with the partner-to-partner play for a while now. So more to be joined, but here's a very nice subset of partners that will help us. Why am I sharing this one with you? This talks about the partner compatibility score. So remember I talked to you, there's two routes. There's the build your own practice or the partner-to-partner play. If you're going to go down the partner-to-partner, if you're going to go down to the build your own practice route, it's important to understand that Microsoft have recently changed their partner compatibility systems. So previously it was gold and silver attestations or certifications so that Microsoft could identify which customers are valuable for you. They've changed that recently. And my next slide will talk about that a bit more. But partner designations are very important. So if you haven't yet worked out what your partner designation is, please reach out. Let us help you identify what your partner designation should be. And then we can help identify how you're going to improve your points that Microsoft accredit to you. You want to get to 70 points. That gives you the ability to unlock levels, I suppose. But the point here is that by beginning this learning cycle and by beginning to have these conversations, we can help you skill up, we can help you drive success with your customer stories, and we can obviously help with your performance skilling as well. So it's a very clever solution that Microsoft have. It's worth your attention, and we can help guide you on that process. But if I can talk specifically about the partner designations around business applications. So on the screen, I've got 6 partner designations and specializations that you can pick. Now, again, we can work on it together to identify what they might be. You can click through each of these. This deck will be available, obviously, so you can see through these, but we can help you identify your designation and your specialization. Once we've identified that, we can help you with which learning path you'd like to go on. Which of your internal team members are tagged to be the subject matter expert in any of these fields or any of these specializations. So important, if you are going to do this direct model where you're going to implement for yourself and you're going to build out your own practice, designations are very important, but also the learning paths associated to them are very important as well. And I have a ton of researches on learning paths, including where you can actually do exams and test exams before you go into certification. So I've just shared this deck with you. This was from a recent release from Microsoft, and it talks about how you can actually begin your journey now. You can actually fire up a trial environment of Dynamics, pick which flavor of Dynamics you'd like to go down and begin that process just to get a bit more familiarity as well. And the other link here is the Connected Sales and Marketing Solutions, where they share more about how to have engaging conversations with your customers. So 2 very, very valuable resources. And we have so many resources. You just need to reach out and say, Ben, or speak to your cloud account manager, where should I go first? But Cloud Enablement Desk is valuable. The Microsoft Cloud Partner Program is obviously as well. Specifically for the Microsoft Business Applications is where you'll get a lot of insights. Again, these are all available for you to click through, so it's just placeholders for when you get this deck. Additional things are the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Power Platform portals, business application virtual training days. There's actually a really good one that's actually an on-demand event as well. So they were recorded previously, but their content is still very valuable, so you can learn at your own pace. And I'm going to just share with you one, almost our last deck, and how we're going for time. Good, we've got a few minutes for questions as well. So I've got a few videos here which are available in our YouTube channel. The link is at the bottom here, which is the Pax8 Academy. And the first one on the top left is the introduction to Dynamics. That's where I begin the learning on what Dynamics is and how it can be beneficial. Then I move into a second deck which talks about demystification of Dynamics, where we break things down a little bit finer into the SMB space. And the third one on the top right-hand side of the screen there is the business outcomes, more of a conversation around Dynamics, rather than saying this does that, this does this does that. It's more about you have this customer. That's also valuable. And we've got a really nice video that I shared with James with Dynamics for SMB specifically. So fantastic content. Sorry, I think it's a fantastic content. Please let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And as you can see, I've got a nice big blank spot there for the Cloud Ascent one, which we're looking at doing as well. So we covered a lot. I apologize if I went quickly. Again, this is recorded, so you can play it back. We covered the managed service providers tools, how we help you grow your business, gain efficiencies, and reduce risk. We talked about the Cloud Ascent data and your current customer base and how you should be looking into your data now to identify your customers and their sales motions. We talk about the All Cloud and the value of selling more than just M365 or modern work, but transacting all clouds. Dynamics learning paths we touched on, which are those slides I just shared, where how you can begin your learning depending upon your designations. Your partner compatibility score is how you get attention from Microsoft and how you can start putting logos on your pages, profiles, business cards if you've still got them, but also how we can help guide you on the journey to building a Dynamics practice, or whether the partner play is the way to go for you for now. And obviously our PAX Academy. So call to action. So I think begin to build your practice. If you are going down that path, identify who are those team members, because I think it's a long-term play. And I think if you can identify which of your internal team members want to have more than just an MSP conversation with their customers, but want to get that deeper engagement with their customers, tap them on the shoulder and ask them, listen, there's a learning path here that Benno suggested. What do you think? And tell me what your thoughts are, because we think it's valuable. I think it's valuable. I've dedicated most of my designations. Again, reach out to your CAM to identify your designations. Let's review your Cloud Ascent data together. And then obviously watch my videos, Dynamics with Benno. I think that's a great start. So that's it for my presentation. I hope that is helpful. I don't know if there are any questions that have come up. No question. Wonderful. That means I did a fantastic job, right? So again, we're going to make this recording available. We're going to share out the deck as well, so you can review it in your own time. Reach out, have a chat, let me know what your thoughts are. We're going to do another webinar shortly on the Cloud Ascent data, so keep an eye out for that. It is on the PAX8 Academy on our YouTube site, so please maybe subscribe. I feel like one of those YouTubers. Please like and subscribe, and you get the bells and all that, but I'm not going to do that. I'll share on LinkedIn as well. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. I hope that's helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.